Hey guys, it's Mistress Nightmare here, and I am so sorry I haven't been able to post anything for the past couple of months. I've been dealing with um, a lot of things, especially being sick, unable to speak for the past couple of days, and traveling to New York to visit my boyfriend, which was an awesome experience. Anyway, let's continue off You're Not Leaving, Chapter 2, Deanna's point of view. I felt striped arms wrapped around me and my waist, pulling me closer to a hard chest, and I realized that those recent events weren't a dream at all. Painted black lips started brushing against the crook of my neck. In case you're wondering, it wasn't a dream, LJ muttered against my trembling, light tan skin, chuckling. Heh, it's just a little taste. What's going to happen? Those black lips slowly trailed up to my earlobe, biting in and listening to the gas that escaped my mouth. Eyes, eyeing the pink blush coming afterwards with a grin. How cute, he whispers, sending a shiver of pleasure crawling down my spine. All of a sudden, dark orbs narrow as he pinned my arms above my head, pushing me down on the soft mattress, straddling my hips like he did before. What? What are you doing? I stated before he started attacking my neck, in a search for a sweet spot, feeling his lips kiss every inch of my neck until I let out a soft moan, making him smirk in self-satisfaction down at me. I blushed a bit down on the sweet spot, his tongue running over, and began sucking it tenderly. I let out an involuntary groan, running my fingers through his raven black shaggy hair as he bit down harder, sadistically drawing crimson blood from my neck, roughly licking it up. LJ, I moaned, gently watching him glance up at me, blood glistening on the bottom of his lips. He smirked down on me, leaning down and smashing his lips towards mine, the metallic taste of blood mixed with a sweet tang of candy peppermint in his mouth. His hands started trailing down to my side of my hips, making me blush harder. His tongue lapped or swept into my mouth, licking, cuttering around in self-satisfaction smile as he won dominance over of my mouth, claiming it as his. I groaned softly, feeling the tongue explore every inch, darting from one side to the next. I was starting to like his touch, melting into it. You're too adorable. Any other guy will have to. I'm going to make you mine, he huffed, pinning me down more forcefully as his lips crushed down on mine harder. One of his hands crawled on the back of my shirt, his claws outlining the ribcage of my spine. His tongue started tracing out of my mouth, down the collarbone, like a dagger-like teeth, starting nipping at the flesh slightly as he began to suck on it. Deanna, he groaned against my skin, sliding his hands upward in a smooth motion back. LJ, I wrapped my arms around his neck. His ivory claws dug across the flesh of my back as his other hand slipped past my stomach and settling it on my chest. His claws gripped one of my breasts, kneading it harshly as my flesh turned into a bright tomato red. LJ, I panted, watching him grin as he groped it harder until I fell back on the mattress in a chorus of pants and gasp. He grins, lowering his lips right down and resuming kissing my neck. LJ, where are you? Max's voice rang out, cutting through the slight moans coming from my room. LJ's head bobbed up from my neck, his black eyes wandering towards the empty doorway. He let out a soft chuckle, removing himself from my body. I hope you enjoyed this different candy. There's more where it came from, and you will have to wait to see, Princess. But for now, I have to deal with the kiddo with it. He smirks and walks out the room, with that sweet taste of candy still evident in my mouth. I sat motionless, crumbled on the bed, watching this monochromatic form leave the room, listening to his chuckles getting further and further away. LJ's point of view. I stalked through the halls, searching for my playmate, still chuckling and slight smirk playing on my lips, as I thought about Deanna, that sweet kiss I stole from her cute mouth, and the way her face flushed crimson like a pool of blood as I did things to her. Adorable. But, there you are, LJ. Wait, why is your hair all messy? Max called out to me, signaling or slicing through my thoughts across from the hallway. I flicked my black eyes towards her, confused, with a grin evident on my painted lips. No reason whatsoever. Let's go and play. I chuckled, letting Max lead me into the sitting room that will soon be tainted with her blood. Deanna's point of view. My body trembled from the warm sheets. My bangs slightly covered my widened eyes as I stared at the ceiling. A red flush crept across my cheeks. LJ, I muttered, briefly remembering the taste of his lips. Giving a kiss, he kissed me passionately. The way he touched me made me blush. Abrupt scream cut through my thoughts, making my eyes widen in realization that sounded like I started before scrambling off the bed sheets, panting or sprinting down this dim hallway, the flickering of my presence slamming the door as I set into the sitting room open. Max, I shouted to see her sitting beside the clown boy on the sofa. What's the matter? She asked innocently, glancing over me curiously. Didn't you just scream? I panted, watching her shake her head as response. It was just the TV, she muttered, turning back to the TV, slowly turning it into a glitchy static. LJ turned around to face me with a grin, patting the empty space between him or next to him on the sofa. I glared slightly as the pink blush coated my cheeks, sitting down hesitantly next to LJ, who was looking down at me with an amused smirk. Look who decided to join us. Delightful, LJ chuckled, clapping his hands as a giant, simple smile played on his lips. I blushed violently, a violent shade of red, looking away from Max, who fallen asleep cozily on the sofa next to me, her head lolling to the side as she muttered something softly in her sleep. Are you going to Betty Bye too, sexy? LJ questioned with a grin beside me, noticing my half-lidded gaze drooping as I started, as my head flashed the screen in front of me. I groaned as let my head loll to the side. As LJ chuckled, sweet dreams then, Deanna. His dark orb stared, watching me fall asleep on Max's shoulder. LJ's point of view. A pang of jealousy sliced through me as Deanna fell asleep on Max's shoulder. That cute head of hers should have been resting on my shoulder. I just need to get my little playmate out of the picture now. A murderous grin settled on my lips, crept towards Max's small body, settled on the sofa. Her head lolled to the side as my looming figure drenched hers in a pitch black shadow. Her eyes opened abruptly, making me chuckle maniacally as I drew my black claws, watching her eyes widen in terror. Oh, those wonderful terrors! I brought my claws down into her skin before a scream could escape her parted lips. My eyes widened as I saw all the glorious blood squirched out as my new claw marks inserted in her skin. She screamed in agony as I dug them out of her flesh, tearing them out as listening to her flesh rip apart. I raised my claws to my lips, silencing her screams. Shh! You don't want to wake me sleepyhead over here. I chuckled, smoothing her hair down before roughly grabbing her jaw and ripping it down, dislodging it from her feeble frontal lobe, watching the very flesh rip apart from her body as blood spilled across the floor. Then I brought my claws to her widened eyes, piercing them as the crimson blood skewed into my claws, coloring them. I harshly tore one of them out slowly, letting it drop out of her socket, and then the second one ripped out, completely tearing through my maniac laughter as I tore the other one out. And for the final touch, I chuckled, widening my dark eyes as I shifted my index claws to her stomach, pinpointing where I want to stab her before plunging it and watching her body convulse before going limp, slump against the blood-stained sofa. I am not reading that laughter part. I screamed with laughter, ripping out an organ after another, stripping her bodily entrails all over and sitting on the sitting room for Deanna to see. I can't wait for her to see my masterpiece. Slumping down next to her on the couch, I turned Deanna's cute head towards me, resting it on my shoulder, and I saw a slight smile appear on her lips as she snuggled deeply into my mangy feather shoulders, making a pink blush coat her cheeks, or my cheeks. You're mine now. Oh, I got you. I trailed and turning her head to the side as I tenderly licked the blood that stained her cheeks. My lips curled into a grin as I brought them to her ear and whispered, You're not leaving.